everybody, it's Brian here with Explosive Review, and today we're going to be doing a modification that will solve a problem which I think a lot of owners of the mk23 by KWA will actually have and know what I'm talking about, and that is the fact that it has 16mm threads for the silencer. Now this is not a common size. Back when this was first released, there were a few guns that offered a 16mm mk23 style silencer, but since it came out, all of them have basically gone out of manufacturing that, and it's no longer available from pretty much anywhere. So unless you happen to find one on the used market, you're basically out of luck. I believe there's one company that's making them, but they want some ridiculous amount of money, like $120 for just a regular silencer. So what I've done is I have actually gotten just a regular 14mm, as you'll see, doesn't fit on, not even close. And we're going to modify this so that it actually fits the 16mm threads. Now this just showed up in the mail today, so we're going to open it up and see what it is. There it is. So what this is a 16x1 tap, and this is going to allow us to rethread our silencer here, hopefully for the correct size. Now I did a bit of research to find out what the correct thread count was for this. So this is just my best guess, but hopefully this is going to allow us to thread this silencer right here to fit onto these threads. So what we're going to have to do, and I'm not going to show you all of this, and this will require some technical abilities and access to some tools that not everybody might have. So thankfully our back threads off, and this is going to make the process a lot easier. What we're going to do is we're going to take a drill, and I've already looked into the correct size. This is fairly large. This is a 31/64 size drill bit. It's the closest I have, and we're going to actually drill this out. I might actually even need to go a little bit bigger. I'm not sure here. Yeah, I think I will. I might even have to move up to a 1/2 inch. We're going to drill it out. Then we're going to retap it. And the most critical step, I think, for this is going to be to keep everything perfectly flat. I'm going to try to do as much of it as I can on my drill press to keep everything at a perfect 90-degree angle to allow us to thread all of this in properly. But provided I can do that, I think we should be okay to get this onto the new threading. Yeah, it looks like probably a 1/2 inch is going to be a bit closer, but this is a little bit of an experiment. I've never done this before, so bear with me and we're going to try it. I'm going to go out to the garage now. I'm going to drill it out. I'm going to try tapping it there, and if I can do that successfully, we'll come back in, we'll try it, and we'll give it a bit of a test. Okay, so we're back inside, and I have now drilled and tapped this. And this was a little bit of a problem for me actually, because I found out that I didn't have a drill bit or a tap holder large enough to do this actually, because it's a pretty big tap. So what I ended up having to do is kind of wiggle this around in the drill press to enlarge the hole big enough for me to get the tap started. And once I did this, it seemed to work okay. Thankfully this was fairly soft metal, so it came off rather easily doing that. I think it's just some either aluminum or maybe some pot metal even. Then I tapped it. The only problem with tapping this, I did my best to get it square, but I don't believe it's actually 100% square, which might mean that the silencer has a little bit of a cant to it. We'll see whether we can do anything about this, but I think it'll be okay for now. The hole's big enough in the end that I think we'll be okay. So let's screw this back on. I did mar up the edge a little bit, but that's okay. The silencer was already pretty beat up. Let's see if it fits. Yeah, I can see that it has a slight wobble to it, but that actually looks pretty darn good. So as you can see, it looks really nice on there. This is the correct silencer for the mk23. As you can see, it's all traded on the other side. I'll see if I can line it up a bit later. I'm not too concerned about that at all, actually. But overall, I'm really happy with how this mod turned out. So sort of to recap, we took a regular 14mm anti-clockwise threaded silencer. We got one of these. This is a 16 by 1mm tap. You can find these on eBay for $7 or $8, so very, very, very cheap. I picked up the silencer for $10, used off of a guy, so that was really cheap. So for basically $17 or $18, I now have a Mark 23 silencer that fits on without an adapter. So if you happen to have a silencer, this is actually a cheaper method to go with than buying one of the little $15 or $20 adapters. Plus, you don't end up with a gap here, which I don't know, maybe I'm just a purist, but it's always kind of bothered me that there was that little gap there. And the silencer stuck out a bit too far, but this turned out really, really nice. Now, you do need some slightly specialized tools, I guess, although I'm sure you could actually do it with just a regular drill. Get the tap, throw this in a pair of pliers, which is actually what I had to do because I didn't have a tap holder large enough. This was literally a fraction of an inch too big to go in there. But if you do that, you can have a fitted Mark 23 silencer for super, super cheap. No need to go out and spend the ridiculous amounts of money to get one of the very few that fit, or if you can find one of the rare Tokyo Marui ones that's separated. Down the road, I might like to see about getting a PEC box for this to complete it, but again, those are super, super hard to find. But overall, I think that this turned out really, really good. Hopefully I'll bring you a shooting video and a review of this gun a little ways down the road. But as always, this has been an explosive review. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and comment.